Hey, everybody, welcome to Father Figures Podcast. And I'm your host, Dre. And it's been a minute, has it? Hasn't it? I would definitely say, I just posted some content on Friday prior to this, so you guys can watch that. But that's not really introducing myself, is it? Because I'm doing a lot now. And a lot of people haven't realized it, or maybe people do realize it, but people are asking all these questions like, Dre, why do you have so much YouTube knowledge? And how did you know this? And what are you doing? Well, I've kind of metamorphosed. I think it's like as we jokingly, any Dragon Ball Z fans would say, this is my final form. And I think I just realized that I'd grown. So I wanted to take this first episode, talk about what I'm going to do here. What am I doing working on the other shows I'm working on? Shout out to the amazing people I work with, and kind of get you prepared for what you're going to see here. Because your boy is doing a lot. And if you guys didn't know, I am Dre, the Geek Dad. This is the robe I used to wear when I showed up on Stradamus Toys' Clubhouse. It was actually a joke because I was cold in our old house. So it was wintertime when I wore it, and the robe kept me warm. And because I was Dre the Geek Dad, they were like, that's part of your outfit. Like, you need to wear that. And shout out to Brick Something, because you were the one who told me to do it. But it just doesn't feel like me. Because that felt like a character. Like every time I did a video, I'd put it on. Every time I was on a live stream, I put it on. And it kind of became like a running gag. And I don't feel like to me, I feel like it doesn't present me as who I am. I'm a dad. I'm a father. I'm a husband. I'm a brother. I was a son to my mother. May she rest in peace. But I'm still a brother to my amazing siblings, the ones that I care about and talk to. I'm a husband to my lovely wife. I am a father to two amazing girls and to one amazing son. Uh, you know, and this is not about me in the sense. And I know that's going to be weird because, right, I'm introducing myself. So, or I'm reintroducing myself. So, in this reintroduction of who I am, I want you to understand the core of what the channel is about. It's about legacy, right? We leave behind a legacy. I remember when I was a little kid, one of the coolest things I was able to do was flip through photo albums and watch old VHSs of, you know, trips that I took with my mom and my dad. You know, just pictures of seeing things as I grew up from when I was born to, about the time my parents got divorced when I was like 14, and now as a dad, we have our technology and the iCloud, and I have everything saved, and it's been on social media, and you know, we have pictures, but this feels like a great way for, God forbid, something were to happen and my kids want to remember me. They could always jump on these videos that I've saved on drives, and I've have on flash drives, and if they ever wanted to go to YouTube, and they can actually follow and learn about the quirky dad they have. Yeah, I'm a pain in the ass, and, and I'm a strict dad, but I'm a strict but firm and loving, dad. And on top of that, I'm a geek. I love toys and comic books and pop culture movies, and I think all that passion has to show somewhere, and I share it with my family. Like, we all went to go see Spider-Man and had a great time. And I love going to the toy section, not for myself, but for my littlest one. And I love buying Lego kits for Lana to see her build these awesome F1 cars. My son is a avid Yu-Gi-Oh fan, and he plays Yu-Gi-Oh! And he's a gamer and he builds PCs and he loves cars. You know, my wife loves reading books and loves Stitch. I love Spider-Man, Batman, Captain America. I love wrestling. As you guys can see, a plethora of the stuff behind me. But this isn't just, this is a part of the hobby, but this is me. And I felt like you guys needed an opportunity to not just know why I love doing this content, but who the content is geared for. You know, you who's going to take the time to sit and watch the content, but it's also for people that don't know who I am and, you know, love what I do. Now, you guys may see me on other people's streams. Like, I have a podcast with my boy Dave on the Outer Dimensions podcast with Dave and Dre, where we talk movies from the 60s, 70s, 80s, up to the 90s and into the early 2000s. And we cover TV shows, old cartoons. You know, we've had guests. Dave and I bicker, but that's what two best friends do. We bicker about the stuff we love and we have fun doing it. And when we have our guests on, we've bickered with them and cracked jokes, and we've had return guests, you know. That's the fun of doing that podcast, right? Again, how does this relate to this particular channel? We'll get to that. Recently, over the last few months, I'm hating what I see in the community. It's very divided. On one half, you have this group of people that are just using their love of the hobby, but they were very much acting on these impulses to be very to spread the basically hate. And on the other side of the community, you have the people combating it and standing up for those. And I got to meet two amazing dudes that have led me to meet other amazing creators. And I've just, like, again, shout out to Tats and Toys and TG Vaughn. I'm a better person now that I've met them. And that can sound like, oh, you're glazing them. Yeah, I totally am. They're friends of mine. Friends, brothers, hermanos, homies. Because good people lift you up. They don't tear you down. And that's why you've seen me be very active in supporting the channel and actively supporting Financial Mistakes when we have that show. You actively now are seeing me and Tats do our show, Cultura Pop, which is all about representation, something I stand very firm on. And it's a very big passion of mine, from whatever it is, from movies to television to comic books to everything and anything in the middle that's pop culture related. And I absolutely talk about that stuff here in a different format. With Tats, when we get it on there, it's a different conversation we have. Like, we'll sit there and our conversation's a little bit more, it's less structured, more passion. Here, I try to do it from an educator standpoint. So as you guys, like I said, you guys know, I was a former educator for 18 years. And that's one of my big passions, is to do these sorts of things, to have these conversations, to talk about the positives and negatives, and you know, help people see that there are good things out there, to put your children, put in front of yourself, you know. Yeah, I've actually had to respond to several comments. Why is your daughter on there with you? You're using her for views. Really? Is she here now? Yeah, she's sitting here hanging out with me, playing on her Switch while I film this video real quick to then edit it to get it out for you guys. But it doesn't negate that I didn't spend time with my family at all the rest of the day. Because as you can see, it is dark outside. And I waited till my family was asleep or till they were relaxing. And I took this time out to do this. So again, how does this all relate to what's on the channel? You're hearing it. If you're catching what I'm saying. If you're not, we'll review at the end. I've shown up and I'm showing out. I'm passionate. I'm happy. I'm not going to stay quiet when I see things where people don't have a place to go. I cannot let somebody just feel like they've been just like shitted on by this community that, again, it's taboo. I said this on Financial Mistakes when I was modding in the chat. I said it's a bad word to many people. Like I've heard so many people across all these different chats, and they all say the same shit. They come and they say, I hate the word brotherhood, or I hate when people say, I love you, fam, or I love this community, brother, sister. And I'm like, but community's what got us to the table, right? Let's run that back. The whole purpose of this YouTube was to build a community where we could find like-minded people anywhere in the world that shared this love for plastic, our love for these things. Because if I couldn't find it, maybe somebody else on the East Coast, West Coast, Texas, Canada, Mexico, Japan, China, Indonesia, UK, Spain, Australia might find something cool, and we can become friends. Hell, we can talk every day or get to build a friendship where I could eventually maybe travel to those places and hang out with them. It's all about that love. That's what brought me to the table. And yeah, there were older videos about what I used to do, the Geek Vault, Suo's Geek Vault. I'll never forget that. I won't forget Dre the Geeks Depot. Can't forget those names. Toy Chats. Can't forget those. Uh, you know, I did all that stuff, and I got numbers, but then I just shut the channels down because it wasn't me. I've had the subscribe count. I've had the monetization, and I wasn't happy with it. It wasn't making me happy because I wasn't doing content for fun. I was doing content because I wanted to churn it out to get people interested to watch the channel. That's corporate, right? Now, granted, it's kind of funny because that's what I do now as my job, my day job. But me, I love the fact that I do content that I feel something for. I did toy reviews and you guys have watched them. I've actually reposted older videos I did on those other channels and said, oh, here, take a look at what I did so you guys can kind of get an idea of what I did then. And, something Riles said on Financial Mistakes, shout out to you, Riles. You're definitely dope people. She said, the algorithm kind of criticizes you if you don't pick one lane. And she's right, 100%. If you don't pick one lane, it's like the algorithm punishes you. So I collect toys, but I don't want to talk about it. There's channels out here that do that. Do y'all really need me to go talk about the latest Beachcomber release or re-release? Do you guys really need me to go talking about Jada Toys Mega Man? I was looking at the Spidey and Amazing Friends Iron Man. Do I need to talk about amiibos? Do I need to talk about the Kamen Rider stuff? I mean, there's channels that are just, that's all their focus is. And bless their hearts for the channels that are out there that are doing that sort of stuff because they're filling the niche. I don't want to be one of those channels. I'll mention things like that, like why I love, Spider-Man, but I also love Puerto Rico, which is a picture that my mom brought back from Puerto Rico. And it's now hanging here in the office. I can talk wrestling. Like if you guys see here, there's a ton of wrestling stuff. There's a ton of superhero stuff. You can't see it off camera. There's a ton of, if I can get my right here, all this stuff is SH Figuarts. All this stuff is the DC Mattel 12.99 line. I can go open that stuff up and review it and put it out here on the channel, and you guys would probably love it. But why? Everybody's talked about it. It's not, I find more fun talking to people and actually getting to know people. Now, let's rewind. All those other channels into the concepts of what we talked about into this. This channel's content is going to be strictly about representation in the different areas of pop culture, where I'll put out some informational videos on why I love that stuff. You'll see me talk about wrestling pop culture with lucha libre and superheroes. You'll see me talk about, shout out to you, TG and Tats, when you guys had me on Financial Mistakes. I will talk about Swerve Strickland, who is a fantastic professional wrestler who has revolutionized his gear into pop culture gear, much like Rey Mysterio has done over the years, much like Seth Rollins has done. We're going to talk about stuff like that. We're going to talk about a lot of things that are not just toy related, but are pop culture related. But Dre, you do that on Cultura Pop. No, I don't. We talk to other people on Cultura Pop. This is me talking about what I think and what I like and what I see and what I know. Dre, but your kid comes on and you bring your kids on. Yes, and you will see videos from time to time where my children will come on, where I may bring my daughter in to talk about why she loves F1 Legos. Or you may see content which I'm calling breaking the ice, which is literally me just talking to my friends, asking them questions, getting a deeper knowledge of just who they are and sharing that passion with you for an hour. You know, you're going to see a lot of cool things coming down through this channel for the season. Now, why am I doing it as like a season? Well, I'll keep it very real. I have 3 other podcasts I'm on. I mod in 2 other podcasts. I mod for the Outer Dimensions when Dave and I are not, when we have to put up a video, which does happen from time to time. I'll be in the chat modding. I mod Financial Mistakes, and I love Cultura Pop. So you'll see me on all 3 of these platforms, plus this one. This one is going to be, like I said, very specific though. I'll be dropping videos every Friday at noon, and you'll be able to watch them. There are planned 17 episodes, give or take, for the season, and the season will end on December the, I want to say December the 5th or the 4th. The 4th or the 5th, one of those. Not 6, 7, even though my 6-year-old will probably make jokes about that. But that's where I'm going to do it. And then I'm going to take a break for the holidays, my anniversary, my teenage daughter's birthday, just enjoying the holidays. And this just December is a busy month. And I'll ramp back up in middle of January. And then we'll kick up with season 2, which will have a bunch of new content and new stuff, which is still going to be forward and tied to what we do here. Well, Dre, are you going to ever talk toys? Yeah, you'll get me to talk toys. Maybe I'll review the K-pop Demon Hunters Mattel figures, because my 6-year-old and I and my teenager are diehard fans of K-pop Demon Hunters, and I may just talk about that. There's a lot of cool content that you guys will see me talk about, but it's going to be around the things I like to talk about and the things that are related to what the core value of this channel is. At the end of the day, it's that dreaded word people hate to hear in the toy community: family. It's all about family. And that's what it is. Seriously, it's going to be about family. At the end of the day, this is my legacy. I don't want to ever have my kids think negatively of me. And I've done things on this channel where I had to destroy the video because I was very angry and I wasn't thinking and I was just knee-jerking reacting. And I don't like that. I didn't like who I was. And if anybody wants to clip these sorts of things, oh, he's a hypocrite. Well, isn't everybody at some point? Right? You grow up, you realize you made a mistake. That's called growth, not hypocrisy. Hypocrisy is if I talk out of both sides of my mouth, which many people in this community do. I don't. I'm real. You ever want to bring me on a show? I'll come and talk about everything I do. I'm an open book. You want to learn about what I love here? My family at the end of the day. Because again, when I'm dead and gone, I'd love for this to be something they can look back on and say, man, Papa was awesome. He was funny. He was weird. I'd like to think of myself more as an eccentric, but at the end of the day, it's about the legacy we leave, you know, and sharing in the fun and the memories. So you may see from time to time videos with my family in it because they mean the world to me. You may see videos with my friends in it. Most definitely see videos with my friends in it because they're part of my life and I enjoy spending time with them. And hopefully along the way, I teach you a little something. And at some point in the vast majority of all this stuff that you're learning about and this channel and the people that I think are a part of, now I have to think, the people I know that are in my inner circle, because here's the thing. If you thought when I was younger and had seen the content, I always believed the circle had to be huge because you needed to get all these people to feel like you were important, like you were valued. Turned 48. My circle's nice and small. And I know who's in my circle. I trust who's in my circle. And that's what I care more about. I think you guys will enjoy the content. I hope you do. I will be having tons of fun uh, educating you guys on the different stuff, bringing guests on and videos. I don't think I'll do many lives. I may try to do a live once in a while. We'll see. Just I work a lot, so it's just I don't have the free time to do a live like that. But you will see me on lives. Again, you'll see me modding for Financial Mistakes with Tats and TG. My brothers, love them. Subscribe to both their channels. Definitely, if you have not watched Dave's Dimension, you need to subscribe to my brother. He just hit 3K. Congratulations to you, bro. I am super proud of you. All the hard work you've done. I've gotten to be just a little part of that journey, and I'm with you all the way through, bro, to the end. And the Outer Dimensions podcast, we have a separate YouTube channel for that. Watch me on Tats and Toys when we do Cultura Pop, which is also streamed here. So if you were like, oh, I didn't get to catch it over there, you'll see it co-streamed on my channel. At the end of the day, have fun, enjoy what you do, and be genuine because real will always win over just being a character on YouTube. Thanks, everybody. I look forward to an awesome season. Stay on with us. Think you learned something new. Catch you on the flip side. Peace.